Sir, we can start, sir.
Okay. Namah Parvati Pataye Har Har Mahadeva Shrutismriti Purananam Alayam Karunalayam Namami Bhagavat Pada Sankaram Lokashankaram Sadashivasamarambham Sankaracharyamadhyamam Asmadacharya Paryantam Vande Guru Paramparam Namo Devyai Mahadevyai Shivayai Satatam Namaha Nama Prakrityai Bhadrayai Niyata Pranatasmatam. With the abundant blessings of our Acharya Swamiji, we started this lecture series on Lalitha Saharsanamam last Saturday. This is the second of the series today. After the introduction of the Purva Bhaga, we completed the first shloka, the 5 namas of Devi Lalitha. So today we are going to the shloka number 2.
Mami, Padma Mami.
Yes, I. Udyadbhanusagasrabha chaturbhagu samanvita ragaswarupa pashakhya krodhakara kushojvala.
In the first 3 names, we saw that Lalita Devi has been eulogized as being in charge of creation, sustenance, and destruction. Srishti, Sthiti, Samharam. Now, after that, we have started the other 2 of the Panchakrityas, that is Tirodhana and Anugraha. Now, we started with Devi's Avatara Ghatta, Chidagni Kunda Sambhuta, etc. Now we have Udyadbhanu Sahasrabha. When she emerged from the Chidagni, what was her appearance? Now this appearance is being described in these shlokas. Udyadbhanu Sahasrabha means she is having the splendor of 1,000 rising suns. She has been described as Aruna. The rising sun has got the red color, rosy red color. So Udyadbhavana Sahasrabha, 1,000 rising suns, whatever splendor, whatever radiance it will have, the same is the radiance of Devi. If you remember Bhagavad Gita, Arjuna also explains on seeing Vishwarupa, Divi Surya Sahasrasya Bhavet Yugapat Utthita. If simultaneously 1,000 Suryas rise in the sky, that will be the somewhat equivalent of this radiance. That is what he says. So same is the description here. Chaturbahu Samanvita. Now from here onwards, the commentators have described that the description refers to the Sthula Rupa. The Sthula Rupa of Devi. Chaturbahu Samanvita onwards, we are referring to the Sthula Rupa of the Devi. There are 5 Rupas of Devi recognized in literature. One is the Sthula Rupa, the gross. The second is the Sukshma Rupa, that is the Mantramaya Rupa, that is subtle. Further subtle, Sukshma Tara is Kamakala Rupa. We saw a little bit of Kamakala in the Saundara Lahari references. Then that is supposed to be the higher of the subtle nature. Then we have further subtle, Sukshma Tamam, the 4th Rupa, that is the Kundalini Rupa. So you can imagine Kundalini, about which we saw quite a bit in our Saundara Lahari lectures. It is very, very subtle, extremely subtle, Sukshma Tamam. So whatever we say about the coiled snake, 3.5 rounds, etc., etc., you can imagine it is extremely subtle. Then the fifth one is the Shuddha Brahma Rupam, that is the Nirvikara, Nirguna Rupam. Now we are talking about the Sukshma, Sthula Rupa, the gross. Chaturbahu Samanvita means having 4 arms. Now these 4 arms are not just arms, like we have arms. These 4 arms represent 4 Devis, and 4 Devis emanated from these 4 arms. They are Ashwarudha, Sampatkari, Mantrini, and Varahi. These are the 4 Devis who emerged from these 4 arms. Ragaswarupa Pashadhya. Now, one by one, these 4 arms are being described. Ragaswarupa Pashadhya. Pasha is the attachment we have to our mundane objects. Pasha is the rope which binds us to mundane objects. So, Ragaswarupa Pashadhya. She is having a rope in her hand, which is actually Ragaswarupa, of the form of attachment. So this refers to, according to the commentators, this refers to the Iksha Shakti of Devi. There are 3 Shaktis, Iksha Shakti, Jnana Shakti, and Kriya Shakti. Now this Pasha refers to Iksha Shakti, and this arm which has this Pasha is representing Ashwarudha. The Adhisthana Devata for this left lower hand is Ashwarudha, left lower hand. Then comes Krodhakarang Kushojjvala, that is the right lower hand. Right lower hand, she is having Ankusha, the goad which controls the elephant. Now, which is the elephant here? The elephant is anger. Krodhakarang Kushojjvala. Krodha, Akara, Ankusha, Ujjvala. It is shining with the Ankusha, the goad, which represents anger. Krodhakarang Kushojjvala. The Devi whose Adhisthana is this right lower hand is Sampatkari. Sampatkari, as you know, Ashwarudha is the one who is riding the horse. She is going to fight with riding the horse in the ensuing war with Bandasura. Now, Sampatkari is the one who gives all wealth, all kinds of wealth. That is Sampatkari. And this is Jnana Shakti. The first one was Iksha Shakti. The second one is Jnana Shakti. Now, the next 2 arms are being described in the next shloka. Next shloka.
मनोरूपेक्षुकोदण्ड पञ्चतन्मात्रसायक निजारुणप्रभापूर मज्जद्ब्रह्माण्डमण्डला.
Manorupekshu Kodanda, that is the next hand. That is the left upper hand. That is the sugarcane bow. Ikshu Kodanda is, Ikshu is sugarcane. So, what is that Ikshu Kodanda? That is Manorupa. It is of the form of mind. This is Kriya Shakti. This and the following right upper hand both represent Kriya Shakti. Now, the Devi, whose Adhisthana is this left upper hand, is Mantrini. Now, what is mind? Mind is the one which we have seen before, Sankalpa Vikalpatmika. That means it considers many alternatives. That is the quality of mind. Mind draws from Chitta, the reservoir of memory, and then it considers various alternatives. Should I do this? Should I do this? Should I do this? Then it is the intellect, which is Buddhi, which decides, which is the one which is most conducive to Dharma, and then we follow what the intellect guides us to. So this Manas is the one Sankalpa Vikalpa, considering various alternatives. That is Ikshukodanda. Pancha Tanmatra Sayaka, that is the right upper hand, which has 5 arrows, 5 flower arrows like Manmatha is having. Now these 5 flower arrows represent Pancha Tanmatra. Tanmatra, as you may be remembering, are the qualities or characteristics of the 5 sense organs. The 5 characteristics, the famous ones are Shabda, Sparsha, Rupa, Rasa and Gandha. Those are the 5 Tanmatra. They are known as Tanmatra, associated each with a sense organ. For example, Shabda is associated with ear, Sparsha is associated with skin, and so on. So these 5 are represented by 5 flower arrows. Now, why they are considered as arrows? Because they are the ones who actually come and strike the mind. The sense organs pick up these various inputs, Shabda, Sparsha, Rupa, Rasa and Gandha, or the various inputs from the sense organ, from the outside object, and from the sense organ, the mind picks them up. They strike the mind like arrows, and mind is itself is like a Ikshukodanda, is considering several alternatives, like you have the knots in the Ikshukodanda, in the Ikshu, in the sugarcane, you have knots. Every few inches there is a knot. So similarly, the mind is tied up in knots. It has several alternatives. So the various inputs actually increase the various alternatives. That is why they go together. That is why it is a bow and arrow situation. Now, why Devi is having manas, the pancha tanmatras, the anger and the desire? Why she is having all this in her hands? Why she is holding these representations in her hand? That is because those are the ones which are always bothering us. She reminds us that if you dedicate your sense organs, your mind, your desire, your anger to Devi, she will control. So once you develop bhakti towards Devi, she will start controlling and they will no longer bother you, to indicate that she is having all this. This is the explanation given by all Vidwans. Now those 5 flower arrows have been described as 5 flowers. Kamala, that is lotus, Kairava, that is lily, then red colored Talhara Pushpa, then red colored Indivara Pushpa, and Sahakara, that is mango. These are the 5 flowers. Now, these 5 arrows also have been further described in Tantra texts as having 5 different characteristics. These 5 arrows have 5 different characteristics because they represent 5 tanmatras, which are different. Shabda is different from Sparsha and so on. So similarly, these 5 represent 5 different characteristics of the mind, that is Harshanam, Rochanam, Mohanam, Shoshanam and Maranam. Harshanam is making somebody happy. Rochanam is making the mind very attractive, extremely happy, extremely attractive. Then Mohanam is further on the scale, that is deluding the mind. The mind becomes completely deluded. The attachment is so great that mind is not able to take it off from anyone else. Look at the condition. Harshanam is the first stage. Rochanam is the second stage. Mind becomes attracted. Then Mohanam is it gets deluded. Shoshanam is drying up. So once you have reached the pinnacle, then the drop starts. You start falling down. The first step in falling down is drying up. All your emotions dry up, Shoshanam. Then Maranam. Maranam is attacking and killing. That means you have lost your balance. Because of the sensual attractions, your balance is lost. So these are the 5 stages in the evolution of the mind when the mind is subjected to the various pulls of the sense organs. That is what these 5 are indicating. Now, let us not worry about all that. We must only know that Devi is having 5 flowers as arrows, which represent 5 tanmatras, Shabda, Sparsha, Rupa, Rasa, and Gandha. And she is having the Ikshukodanda, it is also called the Pundrakshukodanda, that is red colored sugar cane as the bow, which represents the mind. Then we go to Nijaruna Prabhapura Madhyad Brahmanda Mandala. Now, the Devi's Sthula form is going to be described further. Now, the 4 arms were described. Now, because of the splendor, the red colored splendor, Aruna Prabha, the red colored splendor of Devi, red colored radiance, the radiance immerses the entire Brahmanda. You can imagine. The sun immerses this Brahmanda in sunlight whenever sun rises. Now we have seen already that it is equivalent to 1,000 suns we have seen before. So naturally the entire Brahmanda is immersed. Majjate means immersed. Entire Brahmanda Mandala, not only Brahmanda. He could have said Brahmanda only. He said Brahmanda Mandala. That means the area surrounding the Brahmanda is also lighted up. See, when you see Devi's forms, there is a halo around the Devi's Sthula Rupa in temples, anywhere, in pictures. Similarly, there is a Brahmanda Mandala around the area around the Brahmanda, which is also lighted up in red color. Nija Aruna Prabhapura. The Aruna Prabha, the red color which is coming from her form, Nija, from her form, it fills the entire Brahmanda. It immerses the entire Brahmanda Mandala in that kind of red colored radiance. Manorupekshuko danda pancha tanmatra sayaka nijaruna prabhapura majjad brahmanda mandala. Next.
चम्पकाशोकपुन्नाग सौगन्धिकलसत्कचा कुरुविन्दमणिश्रेणी कनत्कोटीरमण्डिता.
Now the description from Keshadi Pada Varnanam, from hair, from the head to the foot. That kind of description is going to be given now. The first is the hair on the head. Champaka, Ashoka, Punnaga, and Saugandhika are 4 types of flowers which are decorating the hair. Lasat Kacha. Kacha means the hair. The hair is shining. Lasat. The hair is shining with these 4 types of flowers. Champaka, Ashoka, Punnaga, and Saugandhika. Saugandhika is white lily. White water lily is called Saugandhika. Now these are the various flowers. Now, Saugandhika Lasatkacha, when you say, it also means that these add Sugandha, good fragrance, to the hair, which is not true. Because hair is fragrant on itself. And in fact, these flowers borrow fragrance from the hair. This is the theory. So, it's not correct to say Saugandhika Lasatkacha means these flowers are adding fragrance to the hair. On the other hand, the hair adds fragrance to the flowers. So there is a beautiful shloka quoted in this context by Bhaskaraya. He says, there is a shloka addressed to the Brahmara, addressed to the bee. Janasi pushpagandhan Brahmara tvambruhi tattvam me. You know all the the fragrances, because it goes from flower to flower. So the Brahmara, the bee, can identify all fragrances, flower fragrances. So he says, you know those fragrances, you tell me the truth. What is the truth he wants to know? Devya Keshakalape Gandha Kenopamiyeta. Now we know that the hair on the Devi's head has got a natural fragrance. Now you know the fragrance of various flowers. Now which flower fragrance are you going to compare the Devi's fragrance, the hair fragrance, to that flower? That is the question. This is a beautiful way of saying that it is incomparable. No flower can be cited as being equivalent of Devi's hair natural fragrance. That is why he says like the Devya Kesha Kalape Gandha Kena Opamiyeta. Then we have Kuruvinda Manishreni Kanat Kotira Mandita. Kotira is the crown on the head. After describing the hair, the crown is being described. Mandita means decorated by a beautiful shining crown. Kanaka means shining. Shining crown, decorated by a beautiful shining crown. Kurivinda Manishreni. Now this crown is not shining just because of various rubies and emeralds and so on. There is a special Kurivinda Mani which is there in that crown. That Kurivinda Mani refers to a particular type of ruby, Padmaraga gemstone, a particular type of ruby, and Shastra describes it's not an ordinary type of ruby. Kurivinda Mani has got a special quality. By mere meditation on that mani, by mere meditation, you can get your desires fulfilled, you can get auspiciousness, and you can develop bhakti. Three qualities are ascribed to this Kurivinda Mani: desire fulfillment, auspiciousness, and bhakti. So this very name, Kurivinda Manishreni Kanatkotira Mandita, this very name will increase our bhakti. That is why he is putting that specially Kurivinda Mani. That is the speciality of Kurivinda Mani. Champakashokapunnaga Saugandhikalasatkacha Kurivinda Manishreni Kanatkotira Mandita. Next.
अष्टमी चंद्र विभ्राज दलिक स्थल शोभिता मुख चंद्र कलंकाभ मृगनाभिविशेषक.
Now the forehead is being described. After describing the crown, he is coming down to the level of the forehead. Dalika. Dalika is the forehead. Dalika Sthala Shobhita. She is beautiful with that forehead because it is shining. Vibhraja. The forehead is shining. So it adds Shobha, beauty, to the form. What is the Vibhraja? What is the shining? It is shining like Ashtami Chandra, because the forehead is of the shape of half round. So because it is half round, it is Ashtami Chandra, because Ashtami Chandra is half round forehead. Then Mukha Chandra Kalankabha Mriganabhi Visheshaka. Now the forehead was half moon, the whole face is full moon, Mukha Chandra. The face is full moon. And in the full moon, you know there is something called Kalanka. There is a blemish in the moon. That is why it's called Shashanka, isn't it? It looks like Shasha, like a hair. So, Kalanka Bha. Now, this Kalanka itself is shining. This Kalanka, this blemish on this Mukhachandra is shining. What is that Kalanka? Mriganabhi Visheshaka. There is a special Mriganabhi, Kasturi. Mriganabhi is Kasturi. There is a special Kasturi Tilaka on the forehead, which is looking like a Kalanka for the face moon. Mukhachandra Kalanka Abha. Abha means shining. Kalanka, the Kalanka itself is shining. Mriganabhi Visheshaka. Ashtami Chandra Vibhraja Dalika Sthala Shobhita Mukha Chandra Kalankabha Mriganabhi Visheshaka. Next.
वदन स्मर मांगल्य ग्रगतोरण चिल्लिका वक्त्रलक्ष्मी परिवाग छलन मीनाभलोचना.
Chillika means the eyebrow. After describing the forehead, he comes down to the level of eyebrow. Chillika is eyebrow. Eyebrow is like a Griha Torana. The entrance, there is a festoon, isn't it? Normally in houses, when you enter the house, at the door, gateway, you have a Torana at the top, a festoon. Now this Chillika, this eyebrow, is like a Griha Torana, is like a festoon for the house. What is the house here? Vadanasmara Mangalya Griha. It is a very auspicious house. This house for which the eyebrow is the Griha Torana is a very auspicious house, Mangalya Griha. What is auspicious about it? The face itself is the house, Vadana. Smara. Smara means Manmatha. It is Manmatha's house. It is so beautiful. The face is so beautiful. It is looking like Manmatha's auspicious house. Smara Mangalya Griha. Manmatha's auspicious house is the face. And for that face, there is a Torana at the top. That is the Chillika, that is the eyebrow. Vaktra Lakshmi Parivaha Chalan Meena Bhalochana. Eyes are always compared to fish. Meena Abha, shining like fish. The Lochana, the eyes. Now, what is further description about the eyes? The eyes are not static, they are moving. Chalane, they are moving. Chalat. Vaktra Lakshmi Parivaha. They are moving where? In which waters? Parivaha means the stream. The flowing stream of waters is Parivaha, Pravaha. So what is the Pravaha here? Vaktra Lakshmi. The face is itself the Pravaha. Lakshmi means it is so beautiful. It is so splendid. The waters are so splendid. See, when you look at Ganga waters, when you look at Kaveri waters, when you look at Godavari waters, you find there is a special splendor attached to those waters. You cannot take your eyes off those waters. That is the state of waters of the river. Now here we are talking about the face of Devi, which is compared to those waters. So those waters are so splendid, so beautiful. And in those waters, there are two fishes. Those are the two eyes which keep moving. These are not static fishes because eyes keep moving, isn't it? So Chalat Meena Abha. The eyes are shining like fishes. Now, there is another aspect of normally comparing the eyes to fishes, because fishes, when they deliver the young ones, they don't do anything for nourishing them. They just look at them. That is why we saw earlier the Meena Diksha. There are different types of Diksha. One was Matsya Diksha. Now, Matsya Diksha is like this. That Diksha is given just by looking. Similarly, the parent fish, just by looking at the child fish, is able to rear it up. Similarly, Devi's eyes, just by looking at us, is going to confer all the blessings, all the auspiciousness on we, the children. That is the idea. Vadanasmara Mangalya Grihatoronatilika Vaktralakshmi Parivaha Chalan Meena Bhalochana.
नवचम्पकपुष्पाभ नासा दण्ड विराजिता ताराकान्ति तिरस्कारी नासाभरण भासुरा.
Now he is talking about the nose. After talking about the eyes, he is coming to the nose. He is going step by step. Every part of the body is being described. Nasa Danda. It is like, looking like a staff, looking like a stick. It's so straight and sharp. That is why it is being described as Nasa Danda. Nasa is the nose. It is looking like a stick or a staff, straight. And Devi is shining, Virajita. Devi is shining because of the nose, which is looking like a staff. Now, what is the comparison for the nose? Navachampaka Pushpabha. It is shining like a freshly blossomed champaka flower. Freshly blossomed champaka flower will have a beautiful shine, isn't it? Red colored shine. So this nose, which is also red colored, is having a beautiful shine like that. Tara Kanti Tiraskari Nasa Bharana Bhasura. Next the description is Nasa Abharana, the nose stud, which is decorating the nose. Nasa Abharana. Bhasura, she is shining. Like Virajita, Bhasura means shining. The Nasa Abharana is shining. Shining like what? Tara Kanti Tiraskari. It is putting to shame. Tiraskari means it is ridiculing. It is putting to shame the shine of stars. Tara is the stars. Tara Kanti Tiraskari. Of course, this is the superficial meaning. There are deeper meanings associated with this. Now, each of these names which we have been seeing has got a hidden mantra, Bijakshara mantra, which you have to learn only from Guru. That is what Bhaskara himself says. Now, he is referring how the names take you to certain descriptions which refer to Bijaksharas. So, in other words, every name which looks like an ordinary description refers to a Bijakshara. That is why it is a Mantra Shastra, we say. Now, here also, Tara, though it's stars we are interpreting, it actually refers to certain Devi. Tara is also a Devi, as you know. So, now this Nasabharana itself is putting to shame the radiance of those Devis. That means those Devis are only emanations from Lalita Devi. So naturally their splendor cannot be compared to even the Nasabharana. Navachampaka pushpabha nasadanda virajita tara kanti tiraskari nasabharana bhasura. Next.
कदम्ब मंजरी क्लिप्त कर्णपूर मनोहरा ताटंक युगलीभूत तपनोडुपमंडला.
Now the attention is shifted to the ears. Karnapura is the flower ornament which is around the ear. That is called Karnapura. Karna is the ear. Karnapura is the name given to the ornament around the ear. Generally, it is a flower. Now here also it is a flower. What is the flower here? Kadamba Manjari Kripta. It is not Kripta, it is Kripta. Ka, La, R. Three letters are together. Kripta. Generally, this mistake comes in printed version because it's a difficult pronunciation, difficult printing. Kripta. Kadamba Manjari Kripta. Kadamba Manjari means Kadamba flowers put together in the form of a bouquet. Kadamba flowers put together in the form of a bouquet is Kadamba Manjari. Those Kadamba flowers are acting as Karnapura. They are the ornament around the ears. Manohara, they are so beautiful, enchanting. Tatanka Yugali Bhuta Tapanodupa Mandala. Then he comes to Tatanka, the ear stud. That was the around the ear. The flowers were around the ear, Karnapura. Now Tatanka is the ear stud. Yugali Bhuta, there are two Tatankas for the 2 ears. One is Tapana, another is Udupa. Tapana is Surya, Udupa is Chandra. Udu means stars. Udupa means the lord of the stars, lord of nakshatras. So he is known as Udupa. Tapana, Udupa. Tapana means something which is extremely hot. He creates heat. That is why he is called Tapana. He says Tapa, isn't it? Tapana means. So Surya and Chandra are the two Tatankas which are adorning the 2 ears of Devi. Tapanodupa Mandala, because the shine goes all around. Like we saw earlier, Surya and Chandra have got an aura of radiance all around. So that is why it's called Mandala. Now we have seen before how this Tatanka Mahima has been described in Saundarya Lahari. Sudhamapyaswadya pratibhaya jara mrityuharinim vipadyante vishve vidhishatamakhadyaha divishadaha karalam yakshvelam kabalitavataha kalakalana nashambho tanmulam tavajanani Tatanka Mahima. This is what we saw in Saundarya Lahari. That is, even after having tasted the immortality conferring Sudha, Amrita, even after consuming that, these Devas, Vidishata Makhadyaha, like Brahma, like Indra, they meet with death. Now that Amrita is described as Pratibhaya Jara Mrityu Harini. It removes the terrible old age, it removes the terrible death, no doubt. But all that is only for a certain period of time. Ultimately, they have also to die. But having consumed the terrible poison of Halahala, your consort, Parameshwara, is still alive and kicking. That is because of your Tatanka. That is what he says. Karalam yet Shvelam, with the terrible poison. Kabilitavataha Kala Kalana na Shambhoho. He is not subjected to the rules of Kala. Tanmulam, the reason for it is Savajanani Tatanka Mahima. So that is the beauty of the Tatanka. It is being hailed in many stotras. We just cited the Saundara Lahari Stotra, very famous one. Kadamba Manjari Kripta Karnapura Manohara Tatanka Yugali Bhuta Tapanod Upamandala. Next.
पद्मरागशिलादर्श परिभावि कपोलभूः नवविद्रुमबिम्बश्री न्यक्कारि रदनच्छदा.
Next, the body part being described is Kapola. Kapola is the cheek. Padmaraga Shiladarsha Paribhavi Kapola Bhuhu. Kapola Bhuhu, having Kapola, having the cheeks, which ridicule, Paribhavi, which bring shame to Padmaraga Shiladarsha. You imagine a mirror. Adarsha is a mirror made of Padmaraga stone, Padmaraga Shila. A mirror made of Padmaraga stone. Very beautiful. Now, this Kapola, these cheeks of Devi bring those that mirror to shame. So beautiful this is. That's the poetic comparison. Navavidruma Bimba Shri Nyakkari Radanachada. Similarly, for the lips, Radanachada is the lip, Radana is the teeth. We have seen this usage before. Poets use this for describing the lips. Instead of saying Adhara as a normal description, they say it is the cover for the teeth. That is the lips. Radanachada. Nyakkari, again, it is bringing ridicule to Navavidruma, the new coral, the newly formed coral, and bimba, bimba fruit. Both have their own shine. They have their own shine, no doubt. Bimba fruit. Normally, lips are compared to bimba fruit, as we all know. So bimba fruit and the newly formed coral both lose their shine in front of the lips, the shine of the lips of Devi. Similarly, the mirror made of Padmaraga stone loses its shine in front of the beautiful cheeks of Devi. Padmaraga Shiladarsha Paribhavi Kapola Bhuhu Navavidruma Bimbashri Nyakkari Radanachada.
शुद्ध विद्यांकुराकार द्विजपंक्ति द्वयोज्ज्वला कर्पूर वीटिकामोद समाकर्षि दिगंतरा.
Shuddha Vidyankura Akara Dvija Pankti Dvaya Ujjvala. Now he is talking about the teeth. He has covered already the lips. Now he is talking about the teeth. Dvija Pankti, the row of teeth. Teeth are known as Dvija, we have seen before, because they are twice born. Like the three Varnas, they are known as Dvijas because they are born once and then they are subjected to the Upanayam ceremony. So they are known as Dvijas. They are twice born. Similarly, these teeth are also twice born. First the baby teeth, then the regular teeth. So they are known as Dvija. This row of teeth, Dvija Pankti, Dvaya, there are two rows of teeth, upper and lower, Ujjvala, shining. Now what is so special about the teeth? The speciality is Shuddha Vidyankura Akara. Now these teeth are having the shape, akara, the form of ankura. Ankura means sprout. You know, when there is a young plant, first it is in the form of a sprout, ankura. Bija, then ankura stage. After the seed stage, the first stage is ankura, the sprout stage. So these are like ankura, like sprouts of Shuddha Vidya, the pure Vidya. Pure Vidya is Sri Vidya. The Panchadashakshari mantra is known as Sri Vidya in Devi literature, and it is also known as Shuddha Vidya. Whenever you say Shuddha Vidya, it refers to Sri Vidya in Devi literature. So here also it refers to Sri Vidya, and it refers to normally Panchadashakshari mantra, and in special cases Shodashakshari mantra, the highest. It is rarely referred to, but here the reference is to Shodashakshari mantra, the 16-lettered mantra. Now, the sprout, look at the beauty of the poet. The sprout has got two leaves. It has just come out of the seed. It is just a sprout form. It has 2 leaves. So, Shodashakshari mantra, every akshara is like a sprout. So 16 sprouts are there, and each sprout has got 2 leaves. So you get 32 leaves, which are 32 teeth. That is how the description goes. So the upper row of teeth is 1 leaf of the Shodashakshari mantra. The second leaf is the lower row of teeth. That is the beauty of the 32 teeth, representing the 32 leaves of the Ankura, the sprout of the 16-lettered mantra, Shodashakshari mantra. Now also there are further, in fact this particular description has been given a lot of interpretation, very complicated interpretation. We will not go into that, but we will only refer to 32 Dikshas, which are famous in Tantra. In Tantra Shastra, representing Devi's Vidya, Tantra Shastra representing Devi's Vidya, there are 32 types of Diksha. You know, Diksha is the initiation. Initiation of the Shishya into Devi Mantra is called Diksha. Now, that there are 32 types of Dikshas, and the 32 teeth represent those 32 Dikshas, which is, Diksha is the Ankura, isn't it? You create the sprout in the Shishya's mind. The sprout will become a tree in course of time in the mind of the Shishya. That is why it is Ankura. Ankura of Suddha Vidya, Shri Vidya. This is another interpretation. Karpura Vitika Moda Samakarshad Digantara. Now, in the mouth, Devi is chewing the Karpura Vitika. Vitika is the betel nut. Tambulam. Karpura Vitika is Tambulam, the betel nut. Karpura, it has got camphor, so it is beautifully having a fragrance. Amoda means fragrance. Karpura Vetika Amoda. Samakarshad Digantara. Digantara means all directions. Why he says Digantara? Because there are sub-directions. There are 8 principal directions, and if you divide those 8 into further, each quadrant into further 2, then they are called Digantaras. That means 32 parts. So what does it mean? It means all directions, all area is attracted, Samakrishati, all areas, the entire region is attracted by this fragrance of this Karpura Vetika, of Devi's Tambulam. Now, Karpura Vetika has been given a definition in Shastra. What is Karpura Vetika? What are the components, ingredients? Ela lavanga karpura kasturi kesara adibihi jati phala dalai pugaihi langal yushana nagaraihi churnaihi khadirasarascha yukta karpura vetika. This is the composition of Karpura Vetika. Ela, lavanga, karpura, then kasturi, kesara, then jati phala. What is known as Jatika in Tamil, Jati Phala, Dalaihi. Then Pugaihi, that is betel nut. Langalya, that is a particular type of plant. Ushana is pepper. Nagara is dry ginger. Look at that, various things. Churnaihi, Khadira Sara is Khadira is a particular type of essence from a tree. Karpura Churnaihi, Khadira Sara is Yukta, Karpura, Vetika, these various components together form this Karpura Vetika. So naturally the fragrance is enormous in all directions, everything, the whole area is attracted by this fragrance. The 32 teeth represent the 32 Diksha or the 32 leaves of the sprouts of Suddha Vidya, and similarly the Karpura Vetika in the mouth attracts all directions. Suddha Vidyankurakara Dvijapanti Dvayojvala Karpura Vetika Moda Samakarshad Digantara. Next.
निजसल्लाप माधुर्ये विनिर्वसित कच्छपि मन्दस्मित प्रभापूरे मज्जत्कामे समानसा.
Now, this particular thing we have seen in detail in Saundarya Lahari, how the the the, the voice of Devi puts Kachapi, the Veena of Saraswati, to shame. That we have seen before. Nijasallapa madhurya vinirbharsita Kachapi. Kachapi is subjected to Bharsana, Vinirbharsita. Bharsana means ridicule. It is subjected to ridicule. So by what? By the sweetness, madhurya of Nija Sallapa, the words of Devi. Devi's words, Devi's voice carries so much of sweetness that the Veena of Saraswati is put to ridicule. Vinirbharsita Kachapi. Now, Kachapi is the name of the Veena of Saraswati. There are names of certain Venas which are described in Shastras. For example, Narada's Veena is described as Mahati, Vishwavasu, the Gandharva, another great singer. His Veena is described as Brihati, Tumburu, another great singer. His Veena is described as Kalavati. So, like this, there are certain descriptions, names given to certain Venas. Now, Kachapi, what is speciality of Kachapi? Compared to so many other Venas, this also has been interpreted by Vidwans. They say, what is special about Kachapi in comparison with other Venas? The speciality is, in a normal Veena, you get melody, no doubt, but the clarity of the words will not be there. The words will come in a humming sound, but clarity will not be there. The distinctness of the letters will not be there. Whereas in Kachapi, apart from the melody, you also have the distinctness of the letters. The letters become clear to the ears. That is the beauty of Kachapi. But even then, Kachapi loses its grace with the sweetness of Devi's voice. This is what Saundarya Lahari said, we have seen before. Vipancha gayanti vividham apadanam pashupatehe swayarabdhe vaktam chalita shirasa sadhu vachane tadiyair madhuryaihi apalapita tantri kalaravam nijam venam vani nichulayati cholena nibhritam. When Vipanchi is the name, Vipanchi means Veena, that is the Kachapi. When Saraswati was singing on her Veena various leelas of Parameshwara, Vividham Apadanam Pashupatehe. Then Devi started shaking her head in appreciation, and then she started speaking a few words, Sadhu Vachane. Then what happened? Because of the sweetness of those words, the sound is coming from the strings of the Veena, Tantri Kalaravam, that strings, those strings were giving the beautiful sound. Those, those sounds were completely drowned, apalapita, because of the sweetness. Naturally, Saraswati thought it is better to close this Veena and stop not only the sound coming from the singing of the Veena, also even the humming sound which follows for some time. Even that she wanted to stop. So she put the Veena in her cover. Nijam Veenam Vani Nichulayati Cholena Nibritam. So that it is not even seen, not even heard, because she didn't want this kind of ridicule for the Veena and the sound. Mandasmita Prabhapura Majjat Kamesha Manasa. Now the reference is to Mandasmita, gentle smile. In fact, Smita itself means gentle smile. Smita does not mean ordinary smile. Smita means gentle smile. Mandasmita means very gentle, very beautiful. The smile has got a certain special beauty. That is why it's called Mandasmita, and that is why we have an entire Shatakam in Mukha Panchashati on Mandasmita only. Mandasmita Shatakam. 100 slokas on Mandasmita. Mandasmita Prabha Pura. Because of the Prabha, the radiance coming from this gentle smile, it goes and fills the mind of Parameshwara, Kamesha. Instead of saying Parameshwara, Shiva, he is saying Kamesha, because we are talking about Kameshwari here, because we have seen before. Lalitha Parameshwari was given the name of Kameshwari and Shiva was given the name of Kameshwara during their marriage. So, because he is Kameshwara to this Kameshwari, and Kameshwara by the very name refers to the desire which is there in the mind of Kameshwara. So, his mind is full of the desire, full of the radiance of this gentle smile which creates the desire. The radiance accentuates the desire. Mandasmita Prabhapura Majjat Kamesha Manasa Nijasallapa Madhurya Vinirbhatsita Kachapi Mandasmita Prabhapura Majjat Kamesha Manasa. Next.
अनाकलित सादृश्ये चिबुक श्री विराजिता कामेश बद्ध मांगल्य सूत्र शोभित कंधरा.
Anakalita Sadrishya Chubuka Shri Virajita. Now the reference is to Chubuka. Chubuka is the chin. The chin. Now the Chubuka itself has got a special shine, Shri. And Devi's form, Virajita. It is shining because of the shine of the Chubuka. Now every part of the body contributes its own share of the shine for the entire form. That is how we have to understand. That is why every part of the body is said to have its own special shine. So Chubuka is also having its own shine, even the chin. Now, for various other parts of the body, he was giving parallels. He was giving some parallels and he was saying those parallels are no parallels. That is what he was saying all along. Now, when it comes to Chubuka, he says, I cannot give any example. Sadrishya means example, parallel. Anakalita, inexpressible. Anakalita means inexpressible. It cannot be expressed. No parallel can be expressed for the shine of the Chubuka, the chin. Now, even Saundarya Lahari says the same thing. Karadvrena sprishtam suhinagirina vatsalataya गिरीशेनोदस्तं मुहुरधरपानाकुलतया करग्राह्यं शम्भोः मुखमुकुरवृन्तं गिरिसुते कथङ्कारं ब्रूमः तव चुबुक औपम्यरहितं. There also he says, तव चुबुकं औपम्यरहितं. It is without upama, without example, without parallel. You cannot draw a parallel to the beauty of the Chubuka. There also he says that. And he says, though he says there is no parallel, he tries to give a parallel there. He says it is like a handle for the mirror, which is the face. Karagrakyam shambhoho mukura vrintam. That is what he says. And it is held by Parameshwara. Now here he doesn't want to say even that. He says, Anakalita Sadrishya. I am not going to give any example, any parallel to this. Kamesha Baddha Mangalya Sutra Shobhita Kandhara. Next is the neck. Kandhara, it's not Kanthara. It is Kandhara, the fourth dha, not the second dha. Kandhara means the neck. Sutra Shobhita, it is shining with the Mangala Sutra, Mangalya Sutra. The Mangala Sutra which was tied by Parameshwara during the marriage, it is shining with that Kamesha Baddha. It was tied by Kameshwara. In Saundarya Lahari also, we have this reference, this Mangala Sutra. Vivaha Vyanadha. There he is describing the three rekhas, the three lines on the neck. Gale rekhas tistro gatigamaka gitaikani pune. Vivaha Vyanadha praguna guna sankhya pratibhuvaha. There he says, the Mangala Sutra has left three rekhas, and those three rekhas or three lines are referring to the essences of music. Virajante nana avidha madura raga akara bhuvam trayanam gramanam sthiti niyama thimana ivate. Now he is going further into the musicology and he is talking about the various ragas, etc., etc. there. So there also the reference is there to the Mangala Sutra tied by Parameshwara. In fact, there is the view that no Mangala Sutra is specified in Vedas, which is correct. Veda does not specify Mangala Sutra. It is only the Shastras which have come later on, which are specifying Mangalya Dharanam. Now, though it is like that, it has been our tradition, and all over India we have this Mangala Sutra being used during the marriage, and that is being supported by Saundarya Lahari and Lalitha Saharsanamam itself. So there is no point in saying it is not mentioned in Vedas, etc., etc. That objection has no meaning now. Anakalita Sadrishya Shubhakashri Virajita Kamesha Baddha Mangalya Sutra Shobhita Kandhara. Next.
कनकांगद केयूरे कमनीय भुजान्विता रत्नग्रैवेय चिंता के लोल मुक्ता फलान्विता.
Kamaniya Bhuja, the beautiful arms. Now the reference is to the arms. Bhuja is the arm. Kamaniya, very enchanting. Having very enchanting arms. Kamaniya Bhuja Anvita. Now those bhujas, those arms are decorated by Kanaka, Angada, Keyura. In fact, Angada and Keyura refer to the armlet, upper part of the arm. In the upper part of the arm, you wear the armlet. Now this refers to that. Angada, Keyura both refer to that, but they refer to different types of armlets. There are separate designs, no? So Angada is a particular design, Keyura is another type of design. And both are golden, Kanaka. So the beautiful arms are decorated by beautiful armlets. Ratna Graiveya Chintaka Lola Mukta Phalanvita. Next he is talking about the necklace. Graiveya is necklace. Griva is neck. Griva means neck. Graiveya is something which is adorning the neck. That is the necklace. It is of gem-studded. Ratna Graiveya Chintaka. Chintaka is the pendant which is hanging from the necklace. Lola, that pendant is moving here and there, swaying here and there, and that pendant has got a pearl, Mukta Phala. Mukta Phala is pearl. Mukta Phala Anvita. It is having a pearl, which is, that pendant is having pearl, and that is swaying here and there when Devi moves here and there, and that is hanging from the necklace, which is the gem-studded necklace. This is the meaning of the ornament. Now, Vidwans being Vidwans have drawn a very deep meaning for the simple description. The description is very simple. There is a pearl, there is a pendant, and there is a necklace which is gem-studded. That is what he is saying. Now, there is a beautiful interpretation, very deep meaning drawn by the commentators. He says, Graiveya Chintaka refers to those people who can meditate, because Chintaka refers to meditator, one who meditates. Those who are capable of meditating only up to the neck. That means they are not able to meditate in the heart. We are supposed to meditate in our heart. We are able to meditate only up to the neck. Up to the neck means what? We can meditate through our mouth by talking, by chanting, and through our brain by thinking. Thinking, chanting, these are all functions which are up to the neck. Heart is the one which actually meditates. Now, these people are not capable of that. That is the first group. Second group is Lola. Lola means very given to instability, wavering type. They are called Lola. Adhamadhikarinaha. The first one was Madhyamadhikarinaha. Those who cannot go to the heart are Madhyama Adhikari. Now, this Lola is further worse. Even while chanting, like we are in that condition. When we chant a mantra, we are not able to concentrate. When we think with our mind, we are not able to concentrate. So we are in the category of Lola, which is Adhama Adhikari, the worst Adhikari, wavering type. Then the third is Mukta. Mukta means liberated. They are the Uttamadhikari because they have been concentrating in their heart, because it is the heart which is the residence of Devi. We have seen before. There is an inverted lotus, all very subtle in the heart, where Devi is in the form of a flame of Agni. We have seen that. So, if you are able to concentrate on that, and then over a period of time, you get liberated from the samsara. So, they are called muktas, liberated people. Now, phala anvita means for these three types, Devi gives respective fruits. Whatever is eligible, she gives for the adhama, for the uttama, for the madhyama, adhikari. Ratnagraiveya Chintaka, though he is thinking very highly of his attainment, that's why it's Ratna. Graiveya Chintaka, he is able to think only up to the neck level, but he is very happy with that. That's why he is thinking that is Ratna. The actual Ratna is in the heart, he is not able to reach that. That is the indirect interpretation. So this is a very beautiful interpretation of how Devi meets out the fruits of various types of adhikaris depending on your performance. This is performance assessment. That is what is given here. Kanaka Keyure Kamaniya Bhujanvita Ratnagraiveya Chintaka Lola Mukta Phalanvita. I think we stop for the day. It is time now. We have covered up to sloka 13, which is Nama number 32. That means we have covered 32 names. Now, if there are any questions, we will.
If anybody has any question, please unmute yourself and ask questions. Any questions, anybody?
Namaskaram, Mama. Actually, I missed that word, Kamaniya Bhuja Anvita. Kamaniya Bhuja is okay. What is Anvita?
Anvita means having, possessing.
Oh, okay.
It doesn't have any special meaning. Possessing,
Okay.
Bhuja, which is Kamaniya. Arms
Okay.
which are beautiful.
Okay. And one more thing, there is one more word, Virinchi. Virinchi is also, Virinchi and Vipinchi are the same or it is different?
Virinchi is Brahma. Vipanchi is Veena. There is no relation at all. Vipanchi is Veena. Virinchi is Brahma. Virinchi is the creator.
Okay.
He is Brahma.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay. We close for the day. We meet again next Saturday at same time, 7 p.m. IST for the English lecture. Tomorrow we continue with our Tamil lecture at 7 p.m. IST on every Sunday. Namah Parvati Pataye Hara Hara Mahadeva Shri Lalitha Parameshwariyai Jaya Jaya.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.